Hello, everybody. My name is Devin-Foxy Remastered, and today we're going to be reacting to is Sonic's Funeral. Now, before we react to this video, please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way, you will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. And just want to let you guys know that I'm definitely going to be reacting to a video that, yeah, it might probably be a bit sad at this point. It's just a video. That's all I'm saying. And please be sure to subscribe to the original person and the original creator and support the original video. That way, again, you guys absolutely will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. And oh yes, I definitely had remembered that Metal Sonic definitely had reacted to was Sonic's Deathbed featuring Mario. Now, that's pretty much how Metal Sonic reacted to that one. I think it was way back in February 3rd of 2024. Yep, that's how he reacted to it. But now this time, I'm probably going to react to this anyway of Sonic's Funeral, which, by the way, hopefully I'll say again is that, yeah, let's just see how the video turns out. Let's just see what really turns out of this one. So for those who definitely enjoyed this video, please be sure to do so as like and comment and subscribe to the bell to be notified, and subscribe to the original person, the original creator, and its original video. Likewise, and always, and like every other wise, like any other time. So, with that being said, hopefully, might as well enjoy the video. And for much more further notice, is that once again, we're about to react to this video, and hopefully, we're going to see how this goes and see what this turns out. So, anyways, without further ado, let's react to this video, starting here and now in 3, 2, 1, and let's start the video. So, anyway, let's go. Oh, well, here comes Mario. And also, by the way, I actually want to point out something before we continue along, by the way, is that I do not own the claims by means necessarily, by the way, which also I did give my only thoughts a little bit about me reacting to this video since, well, it might come to an end of November before December is in there, before we get 2026, of the next year exactly. But here's what I'm going to say, by the way, that I actually did rewatch this video a little bit and just try to be careful as I can, without getting claimed or anything. But all I wanted to say is that I don't own the claim of anything else that comes to the original person. It just belongs to the original person itself, by entertainment purposes and much more other stuff. So that's just all I wanted to say is that I just don't own any of it. I'm just here to react to the video. That's it. So anyway, that's just why I want to give a disclaimer for the reason for that. So anyway, let's continue this video. Yeah, Brittany feeling a bit sad for that. Yeah, poor Tails. Bruh, did you just really have to do that? Did you just seriously had to do that? Bruh, Tails was being sad, Like, he was actually sad and close to lose his own friend too, Amy. Like, why did you even shove him? Like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but I think Amy could have not done that a little bit in a different way on here, but yeah, pretty much. And also, if I was in my situation, if I was Knuckles, yeah, I probably would be feeling a bit down if Sonic would have passed away at this point, if he was just in his funeral. But I probably would feel down too. I probably would feel bad for him to pass on that kind of way, so continue. Oh, damn, I'm carrying that. Yo, that's cool. That's a little cool, which sometimes, like I said, there's going to be some things I just may not know, and sometimes I would or may not know. But for the first time ever, I'm seeing my favorite character just doing this. Well, pretty based. And I'll admit, pretty based from my guy Knuckles. I actually will admit that it was actually a pretty interesting idea for the creator, just to have Knuckles doing that, like, I think he's just kind of like on the right side or maybe at left. I think he's just holding next to Vector. Interesting choice. A bit of an interesting choice, but not bad. not bad at all, but not bad. Well, here we go. Yes, it's going to be the only moment that Sonic will be in his grave, at least. Which will probably be pretty bit sad to see, at least. Here we go. Damn, for once, by the way, I think it was kind of a little funny by seeing is like, bro, did Knuckles just take Mario's shovel? What? I mean, this is a little bit not too much to be a bit funny on here, but like I said, I don't dislike Mario or any characters in this point. I'm like, wait, what? Like, am I really actually kind of almost getting something a little bit from this? Which I actually was figuring out something. Is that also, let me just pause a little bit, recap a little bit before anyone just like wants to pretty much figure out a little bit by saying is like, for those who didn't see this kind of coming a little bit from Knuckles, man, he just took Mario's shovel. Like, this is a different reference coming from Shadow. Like, whenever that Mario had to green up a little bit of the mushroom just to give Sonic his life again, just for him to be fully like back to his feet. Shadow literally just it was like stopping him, I guess, before he was gonna do it. So, man, why does it seem so familiar at some points that it was Shadow's first turn doing this, and now my favorite character Knuckles gets to? I mean, what? Like, really? What? But okay, let's continue. Well, rest in peace, I
guess. Bye, Sonic.
Even Eggman? What? Bro, even Eggman is in this? Well, I guess Dr. Eggman really made himself to be in the cameo now. Well, I guess he's gonna probably just feel a bit down too. Which I never expected a villain to actually just pretty much feel the same way as this was going on. Like, man, I gotta say, that's huge. Like, that's really huge. Just to say is like, yeah, I probably may agree with this right here. So, all I can say is, I can probably agree with this. How much I can really agree how Eggman really is going to probably be a feeling that's sad to see all that go down. But yeah, I'd probably agree. Just like I said, a little bit of a opinion to agree on. So, continue.
Bye, Sonic.
Oh, nice. A fire flower. Nice. I really liked how Mario actually did that. Nice job. Really appreciate from the guy. Really, I can give that kind of respect right there how he did that, but nice. Really nice. But anyways, well, like I said, hopefully, like always, is that I'll say this once more and again, is that, well, for those, by the way, who probably would say is like, oh, when is going to be the next reaction by saying is like, Sonic goes to heaven and Sonic goes to hell. Well, that's two interesting questions I've never may actually understood to see how that will play out a little bit for when Sonic's in like two alternatives. I think that he's gonna probably just be in two alternatives to know where he's gonna be, which I think this is gonna be an interesting question by knowing how all this is going to switch around a little bit and see how that will go out. But for me, by the way, here's what I can say, at least at this very only point, is that, well, this video is not that bad. Like, this is just perfect. Like, it's just perfect. Like, I love the fact that my favorite character, Knuckles, is just literally so chill a little bit. Like, I know he may feel still a bit bad and Yeah, I know. Like I said, I kind of will pretty much agree that, well, for the first time ever, I may never seen any of this before. That Knuckles, by the way, actually, for once, by the way, it's just feeling a bit something, feeling about the vibe that he just didn't bust a tear or anything. I'm like, wow, that's the first time I never seen him done that. Really, I never seen him cry, which for once I may never notice that. But like I said, that's just a bit of an interesting thing I never noticed. But this is just me exactly just explain how I never knew that in the only way possible. But like I said, we could pretty much just say that, well, we might as well all feel bad for how that was turning out, I guess. But just remember, by the way, just only this recap that Metal Sonic only reacted to Sonic's deathbed featuring Mario, which of course that he's already a villain, so I think, like I said, it probably wouldn't matter for him exactly because, well, technically he's just only a robot, so that's all I can say. But anyway, as for myself, if I was Knuckles, by the way, yeah, I probably would feel a bit sad to see that too, which I might feel a bit of a tear at least a little. But hey, at least I probably would still appreciate it that I will have to say that, well, yeah, I think pretty much that everybody's gonna just miss Sonic at this point, just in this entire video. Just the characters at least, but that's all I can say. So here's what I can say right now. That also, I'm just going to probably end the poll and might as well create a new post. By the way, just want to let you guys will probably know that I will actually just mention about the community post and just say that, oh, the poll has finally ended, which, yeah, by the way, it has definitely been finished. So for right now, I will be mentioning first like a few different things as I will mention through anyway, even though that we are pretty close to get to near Thanksgiving and stuff. But here's what I'm going to say right now is that the post I'll probably be mentioning, by the way, is that two choices were decided. I either have two choices on the post that, well, here's what that was. So the only thing that was, by the way, after Finds of Freddy's 3 was actually finished, by the way, the third game was finished. Well, here's what that pretty much was, by the way, after the third game was over, known as Finds of Freddy's 3, which of course the Sonic characters and non-Sonic characters had to play the third game, which I think, like I said, well, yeah, they played the third game and they finished it anyways. So here's what pretty much this says right here on the first option. It said was, would you guys want to pick Knuckles' fourth season, by the way? Or pretty much another, let me see what the next one was. Or pick another horror killer movie. Which, by the way, I think the only thing that actually was finished the votes, by the way, was here was the votes at the end of the vote. So the end of the votes were probably to be is 9-3, which I think the answer is 67% voted for the fourth season, and then 33 votes were for pretty much for the next horror killer movie. I think so. I think all I have to say is that it's been confirmed that season 4 is now going to be confirmed. By the way, which even though it might be a little tricky for me to probably be releasing season 4 since I don't know how am I going to do that, which I think, like I said, it's going to take a little bit of some work just to put in exactly. I mean, without the plush characters being in the channel and all, which still sucks, by the way. But all I wanted to mention here, by the way, is that, well, I'll still think of some ideas. If I probably need to think of the ideas first, which I'll still do that, by the way. Like, it's still going to be the same genre as season 1 and 2 and 3, but of course, 4 on the apparently, I'll have to work something out for number 4. Which, yeah, I mean, season 4 is going to hit a little bit different, as myself is my favorite character. Season getting number 4 is clearly Knuckles, which I think he probably would have gotten to season 3 anyway, besides Shadow, but I mean, whatever, I guess. Oh, wait. I think it was Tails' season. Yeah, Tails' season 3. My bad. And pardon me about that. So, I think Sonic got his first season, Shadow's got his second, Tails has got his third, and now Knuckles is going to get his fourth. Which, by the way, I'll say this, by the way, and confirm, by the way, that I will say this, that I'll have to pretty much confirm season 4 whatever I might have to release the season date, which I think the season date's going to be a little bit tricky. I think I'll have to pretty much just be the only honest person in this room, because I think I might be able to release it at some point if I actually am going to be ready to have it up, which is going to depend on how I'm going to do it and see where this goes. Which, this might be another interesting adventure that we're going to see where this goes, apparently. So, for those who are excited to see that, then yes, I'm probably excited to see it and how I'm going to release season 4. So, there you go. And I will release another community post for everybody by the reason that yes, season 4 will be confirmed. And the release date, by the way, will also be put up into a hold situation, until it might be released anyway. So, for those who are excited, then yes, it will be a bit exciting. And also, the only tricky part, by the way, is with the plush characters itself that I would pretty much be voicing, since it's a little bit stressful to pretty much not get the characters in the channel often, which does kind of suck. So, you know, so hopefully, like that being said here, exactly, please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe to the bell to be notified. And hopefully, by the way, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And like always, please be sure to give this one a like and comment and subscribe to the bell to be notified, and totally subscribe to the original person, the original creator, and support the original video. That way, again, you guys absolutely will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. So, anyway, like that being said, and always, is I hope that you guys are excited for me to release season 4, which I'll still release it, by the way, so no worries. Season 4 will be confirmed, however, I might release it and just have the idea and have the only idea I can release it. So I guess that's the only fair odds I might be able to try to release it without it being a bit stressful, which I know it's going to be a bit stressful for me, not just because I just don't have the plush characters with me on the channel, which still, again, sucks, but at least I'll try, with or without doing the plush characters at this point, since it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to do, since obviously I might have to try at least a different idea and a very, 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 very consistent idea that I might have to think for myself for this idea, and a little bit slow, so that way I just don't overrush episodes, or in fact have parody videos a little bit too hard to be made or something, which at least I'm still going to keep it at the same level of normal videos, which still remains to be the same way. But for those who are actually ready for me to release season 4, then yes, it will be confirmed, however, on the post that I will be mentioning anyway, which, like I said, I will actually say this, by the way, is yeah, I hope season 4 is going to be worth the wait, and I hope it's going to be worth the time and pleasure, since I know it's going to come to an end of 2025. But 2026, maybe, we're going to find out and see. But until then, we're going to just find out and just get it right along with it and see what kind of episode names I'm going to be sure to be cooking, and just be able to get the ideas up and just see what I'm going to do and see what I'm going to have to probably figure out anyway. Since, of course, I have to get the characters, just like regular Sonic characters and non-Sonic characters, to just just see where this is going to go about, and just how am I going to continue on with their voices, which I'll still voice their characters, as myself, apparently, by voicing the characters of the second channel in season 4, apparently. So, like that being said, thank you guys so much for waiting, and I'll say this again, that yes, season 4, Knuckles' season, will be confirmed at some point, and it will be released by me, and of course on the second channel, which of course I'll have to get Sonic and Knuckles to pretty much have a conversation a little bit, and then I might invite something a little bit more interesting, maybe just have Shadow or Tails be on board or something. Who knows? It depends on however they're going to be in the video, which will just be a possibility at the time, which we're going to find out and see for further notice, but we'll see by any means or something like that. So, like that being said, I will say this again, thank you so much for enjoying this video. It really could have appreciated by any reason, and highly doubt appreciated. So, like that being said, thank you very much for enjoying this, and of course, once again, we're going to see you guys soon enough, absolutely, in the next video. And rest in peace to Sonic, just in this video, just rest in peace for Sonic the Hedgehog. Rest in peace, and hopefully, like I said, rest in peace for Sonic the Hedgehog, and pretty much, hopefully he'll ever survive from either heaven or hell, which we're going to find out which way it's going to be. But for me right now, we're just going to be putting it onto a hold and a pause for right now, since of course we're going to see two versions, by the way, that one choice comes from another is either saying is this: is Sonic going to heaven or is Sonic going to experience hell? Which, of course there's always going to be two sides of thing going on with the fact that's just going to be something, but we'll see what happens. We'll just see. We'll possibly just see. And also, I think it was pretty nice from Mario a little bit whenever he gave him a fire flower and like the pretty much near his grave. I think it was an interesting idea that Mario gave it to him, which was actually pretty nice and very standard. I like the idea how Mario actually was being a very honest rival and friend, even though that he was friends with him a long, long, long time. But that was actually pretty nice from him to do that. That was actually pretty good from how Mario actually did that. Very nice job. Really good job from him. And oh, what do I rank this video out of? Let me just say this from what I ranked the video out of. I ranked this video more of a Alright, I think I'll say this. I rank this video a 10 out of 10 because I think this entire video was just a little bit, pretty bit sad at this point. But hey, at least I enjoyed something very a bit interesting, just not to say anything bad about it, but just have a bit like respect, which I always do exactly at some points and some time again, that I always pretty much have the respect. But yeah, I think from pretty much from Tails, yeah, I think I can pretty much agree with his vibe a little bit. How sad it probably would have been exactly for how he did. But most of all these characters, I could probably still relate and agree to most of them. Which that's all I can say. And Eggman, even Eggman was laughing before he started crying. I'm like, what? There's no way he could actually get to a cameo in here, which was so interesting that I never knew how Dr. Eggman, like his own rival, literally his own rival, felt even bad for Sonic. Like, holy crap, there's no way. Which I know the voice of my own character of Eggman probably wouldn't do that, or maybe have a little bit of an extended of the idea, but yeah, that's gonna probably be a little bit of a different opinion choice. Like I said, some of my voice characters, like for example, my characters, just my characters that may have a different extender, that some of them may have an opinion or some of them may not have opinion anyway, but that's going to probably be for the only answers up above. But anyway, so won't keep you guys long for a loop a little bit until I wrap this video up, by the way. So yes, I'll still give this video a 10 out of 10. And was it pretty sad? Yes. And was it a bit pretty much how this was going to go down a little bit? Pretty much. So that's all I can say. And for those who definitely want to recap, then just go ahead and take a look how Metal Sonic was reacting to was Sonic's Deathbed. That was on my second channel. So for those who definitely want to go ahead and check that out, then go ahead and check out my second channel, by the way. That would be appreciated. On Devin-Foxy's Sonic channel, go ahead and definitely subscribe. For those who are new to this channel, then please again subscribe and definitely fully on subscribe. And no, by the way, I do not own the claim if there's going to probably be one by means necessarily. I just don't own the claim by any reason. I'm just only here to pretty much react to the video and see how this was pretty much going to be. So that's all I wanted to say. And yes, I did give myself some value time. Well, I had to pretty much have the idea and think of the idea and say, like, is this going to be the right idea? How I was going to react to this? Well, that's always going to be every question by saying, like, there's always going to be a time and pleasure of me wanting to, like, wait and wait and wait until something just happens, like something fully happens. And I decided, I was like, all right, I'll give it a look. I'll give it a look this time. I'll give it a personally good look at this. So, anywho, that being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and in fact, I hope that you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Really, hopefully you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. So for those, by the way, who enjoyed this video, remember these 4 things you guys gotta do is like, and comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified. That way, you guys again will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. So pretty much, and I still again did feel bad for Tails and Amy and pretty much Cream and Chow, and then pretty much Big the Cat. Like a few characters were crying, which yeah, I kind of feel bad for them at least. For how they were feeling a bit down at least for something. How that Sonic pretty much was just passed away at this point, which some of the characters were just gonna put him in the graveyard or something, just to pretty much put him in the tombstone, just to like bury him in there. So yeah, pretty much. And once again, I gotta say, by any chances that I'm gonna get going, and I'm gonna just sign off right now. So without that being said, yeah, like I said, just rest in peace. Only in this video a little bit, just only this video. That's just what I'm saying. And that being said, see you next time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And it's time we sign off. And also, yes, I actually will count that Eggman was also crying, by the way. So that also does count too, by the way. Which I did mention, by the way, that I did see a few characters were crying as well, and so did Vector, and pretty much. So anyway, that being said, hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and it's time we wrap this up, and it's time we sign off. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you, absolutely, in the next video. And yes, I will be mentioning Season 4 if I will be able to mention it at some point. And there are going to be some parody videos I probably will find, and will take a look to see how many parody videos I can probably think of by any reason that I'll actually be sure to think of any parody video ideas to do. And then after I finish all of that, and then with everything else is on board, and I'll also make another update, by the way, just to update the channel a little bit on my second channel, just for something a little different of 2026 that I might be updating the channel a little bit. That even though without the plush characters doing reaction videos, which is kind of a little bit hard at this point just to say is like, yeah, that one's going to be a little tricky for me, but at least this point I'm going to just do this one-time thing a little bit just because I'm going to just do the one-time thing. Doesn't mean I'm just going to have to make this entire likely to have the one thing just like add something where it's just going to be non-plush characters being in the videos. It's just going to pretty much just be like the regular characters and stuff, which is just going to be a little tricky, but at least I'm going to try at least a bit of my best to still have their voices continue on while doing reaction videos. And yes, they're going to probably just do reaction videos like always, but, this is just going to probably be how I'm going to update the channel, basically in 2026, but we're going to find out and see. So it highly depends, and it definitely depends on how we're going to do that and see where this goes. But like I said, we'll see. So, let that being said, folks, it's time we're going to sign off, and it's time we wrap this up, by the way. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and it's time I'll see you guys soon enough, absolutely, in the next video. And, of course, I'll be mentioning Season 4 that afterwards, that, well, as long as Sonic and Knuckles do agree, by the way, if they do agree to finish how they're going to probably add Season 4, then yes, I will confirm the fourth season, and I will have it up in no time and definitely have it ready and fully proper released and have like a bit of like, I don't know, to see how the characters are going to probably reunite again and actually will like carry on to do more episodes again, which that's why I'm going to probably try hard likely my best and see how am I going to do all that and have more ideas being extended and be more of them up there. So let's just find out and see, and let's just find out and see what happens and see where this goes. And I do say in my holy pleasure, by the way, of this channel that I wanted to say for everyone else, that I'm going to pretty much say that, well, it's going to be a very great honor that I actually am going to release Season 4. Even like I said, this is just going to be dedicated to my main favorite character, Knuckles, which he'll have the pleasure and honor to have the season actually be to him exactly for Season 4. After when Tails had his Season 3 being done, which was pretty much pretty sick and awesome, which I think it was supposed to be like something epic, a bit like the epic kind of side of like the third season of Tales, but this time it's going to be more interesting and more pretty coolness in Season 4, which might have a lot of different methods or different a lot of everything else going on, which some characters had or had missed a little bit apparently, which is going to be a bit possible. So, like I said, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a reminder. A bit is that season 4 is going to be a surprise. Which, yes, it's going to be a very, 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 very big surprise. Which apparently, yes, it's going to be a very big surprise for everyone to enjoy. Which, hopefully, by the way, for those who are interested in Sonic fans, then go ahead and definitely subscribe, because the moment of the truth is going to be the truth. And it's going to be so likely to happen soon enough whenever it's being ready. And we'll get to be set to go, and we'll be also being in there. So, anywho, with that being said, sorry if I'm talking too much, but I'm just giving you guys a little bit of the details of what's going to happen and what's going on. I think it's either going to come down to 2026 or maybe somewhere near a little bit at December, but we're going to find out and see. How am I going to probably inform Knuckles and Sonic to see how I'm going to try and get the season going and see how am I going to release season 4? As long as I pretty much have their approval of seeing as like, oh, their approval is going to be ready, or they're going to have to be needing a bit more time, which actually will still depend on for that. And also, yes, the timeline god, by the way, I'll also mention too, by the way, yeah, he'll probably come around soon enough that he may come around sooner or later, that I will say, just in my second channel's universe, apparently, of the Devin-Foxy's Sonic universe, that the timeline god may actually will get a cameo, that he may actually return at some points. But like I said, we're going to find out and hopefully see for the better. And we're going to find out what's going to happen. But you may never know. Like I said, you just may never know. Like I said, full surprises are going to be full surprises. So, anyway, that's all I wanted to mention about. That's all I wanted to talk about. And that's all I wanted to say. And of course, that yes, the reaction videos, by the way, are going to hit a little different, just without the plush characters, which, hey, like I said, I still could agree with plush or non-plush characters being in reaction videos, which is still fine by me, which, hey, I'm still not going to judge. I will still permanently not judge it. By the way, I'm not going to judge it. But like I said, I actually do respect both boundaries anyway, just both. Just something, because it's just going to be both. Doesn't mean it's just going to be a little different. So, anyway, like I said, it's time to wrap this up, and it's time that we have to pretty much end the video here and now, so that way I won't keep you guys more in a loop again. So, let that being said, for real, it's time we're going to sign off, and it's time we're signing out for real. So remember this, by the way, is please be sure to give this video a like and comment and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified. That way, again, you guys absolutely will not miss a single video that comes on this channel. And also, by the way, I want to say this. If we do reach 800 subscribers, by the way, that's going to be interesting, and that's going to be amazing. If we do ever reach 800 subscribers, it's going to be the very best pleasure that I ever will say on my channel, the second channel on YouTube, that I'm ever going to be surprised is that, bro, if I get 800 subscribers, I'm just saying this in theory, is if I get 800 subscribers, man, I got to think of something a bit different, It's either going to be a reaction video again, or it's just going to be another special that I might have to create, or make something of like a special something, just to kind of like see where I'm going to do anything at this point, just to have a subscriber special for 800. But that's going to be pretty cool. If we ever do reach to that goal, which I do assume that we hope to reach to that goal, of reaching 800 subscribers. So for those who definitely want to help me and support this channel, then go ahead and definitely subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we can reach 800 subscribers together and make it all the way up there, and just make the special happen and see where I can do all that, and see where I'm going to just like, I don't know, just make the magic the magic. So anyway, it's time to get going, and it's time to sign off. So, like that being said, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hope that you guys will have an amazing Thanksgiving, which I also will, by the way. Will be making a very much likely a Thanksgiving special, or just maybe a regular Thanksgiving video that I might probably be talking about. But let's just find out for the best, and let's just find out and see however it's going to probably turn out, which I'll actually say that there could probably be a a parody video in Thanksgiving, which I might still have the idea having that parody video in, but we're gonna find out and see. So, that being said, see you later. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. I'll see you absolutely in the next video. Thanks for watching, and this is yours truly, the voice behind Knuckles, Uganda Knuckles, and Big Knuckles, and pretty much the Sonic characters and non-Sonic characters. Without that being said, I'll see you again in the next video, and you guys will definitely see a community post coming up soon that I'll actually be mentioning, by the way, that the votes had ended, by the way, that season 4 will be confirmed and will definitely be coming right back in. So for those who want to see more interesting action, by the way, by Knuckles, then oh yeah, it's going to be one hell of another ride. That yes, it's going to be one hell of another ride, and it sure certainly will actually be coming back to another ride, and something very uniquely special. For something that special, for something to happen like this. So, that being said, it's going to be the longest, most interesting wait we could probably see at the meantime. So, with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye. Thank you very much for being patient, and totally will be again. Thanking you all very much for enjoying the long bit of wait before the end of 2025, near all the way to 2026. So thank you guys very much for waiting and supporting this channel. Really, I could really be so likely to be appreciated. And yeah, I know I might give my speech a little bit if I actually will have the time to make the speech. If we ever do make it to 800 subscribers, which I'll still make the speech, by the way, which I know is going to be a bit of an epic speech and a little bit more a bit of mood changes a little bit from me a little bit by saying how the honor I might actually be explained about. So that's all I can say. So for now, thank you guys once again for enjoying this video, and I'll see you next time. And I'm definitely going to sign off for real and just get this over with. So that being said, see you next time, and thanks for watching. Peace on out. Sign out, goodbye, and see you guys for the next video. And like always, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone. See you next time. And signing on out. Bye-bye, everyone. See you in the next video. Signing on out. Bye-bye, everyone. And thanks for watching.